The moment has already passed. You're already in the position most people lose from. Not because you took a dramatic risk, not because you made a reckless move, but because you treated a possibility like a plan. Most people think danger announces itself. It doesn't. It whispers through numbers that feel reasonable and odds that sound survivable. You weren't reckless, you were optimistic. You weren't ignorant. You were selective. You didn't ignore the risk, you rounded it down. That's where leverage quietly drains. Every system that extracts value from you relies on this. You see a chance. They see a distribution. You focus on what could happen. They focus on how often it doesn't. Lotteries don't sell hope. Startups don't sell upside. Managers don't sell opportunity. They sell your tolerance for unlikely outcomes. You don't lose because the odds were bad. You lose because you treated probability as decoration instead of structure. The damage compounds slowly. You stay longer than you should. You commit earlier than you should. You justify exposure instead of limiting it. And the worst part? By the time the loss becomes visible, the decision is already locked, and the first mistake is the one nobody sees coming. This is neglect of probability, not as a concept, as a leverage distortion that turns low-likelihood outcomes into behavioral traps and makes reasonable people pay repeatedly for events that almost never happen. You don't ask how likely an outcome is, you ask whether it's possible. That's the opening. In meetings, someone floats a scenario, a promotion, a breakout win, a deal if things go right. No one asks for base rates. No one asks how often this actually happens. You interpret possible as viable. The system interprets it as exploit ready. Who benefits? Anyone transferring downside to you while keeping upside optional. It feels harmless because hope doesn't feel expensive. Until you realize you paid with time, credibility, and positioning. Possibility is not a green light, it's bait. You remember the outlier. They count the median. You hear about the one person who made it. You don't see the 100 who didn't, because silence doesn't trend. This shows up everywhere. Careers built on one big break. Businesses betting on virality. Relationships anchored to when things change. Who benefits? Platforms, managers, and narratives that only work if you ignore distributions. It feels rational because stories feel concrete. Statistics feel abstract, but leverage flows toward whoever prices the entire range, not the highlight. Outliers are marketing. Averages are reality. You tell yourself it probably won't happen. You don't ask, if it does, what does it cost me? That's the trap. A rare event with catastrophic downside dominates the decision, even if it's unlikely. Who benefits? Anyone who offloads tail risk onto you. Employers, insurers, counterparties, partners. It feels safe because the chance is small. It's not safe. It's asymmetric. Probability without impact is meaningless. Impact without protection is fatal. You lean forward instead of stepping back. You commit early because the upside feels exciting. You explain your intent. You reveal your expectations. Who benefits? Anyone who now knows your threshold, your hopes, your timing. This is signal leakage disguised as enthusiasm. It feels cooperative. It feels aligned. It feels proactive. But probability doesn't care about your energy. It punishes exposure, not pessimism. Optimism without insulation is submission. A single example moves you more than 1,000 data points. You change strategy after one loss. You double down after one win. You panic or overcommit based on narrative momentum. Who benefits? Whoever controls the story cadence. It feels responsive. It's actually reactive. Probability smooths over time. Reactivity spikes variance against you. When stories drive decisions, leverage leaves the room. You want certainty, so you accept explanations. Someone says, "The odds are good." You stop asking questions, but reassurance is not protection. It's sedation. Who benefits? Anyone who needs you calm, compliant, and committed. Probability isn't there to comfort you. It's there to constrain your exposure. If you need reassurance, you've already lost position. Most people think probability is about prediction. Operators know it's about exposure control. Most people ask, what might happen? Operators ask, what happens most of the time and who pays when it doesn't? This isn't about being right. It's about not being cornered. Right answers don't save you from bad distributions. Control comes from optionality, not intensity. The less you need a specific outcome, the more leverage you hold. Speed favors the trapped. Delay favors the positioned. Urgency usually belongs to the side, ignoring probability. When you slow down, you're not hesitating. You're letting the distribution reveal itself. Probability doesn't reward boldness. It rewards restraint, diversification, and timing. The shift is simple. Stop optimizing for upside narratives. Start minimizing irreversible downside. That's where position stabilizes. What most people do, they overcommit to roles with high potential. They accept vague promises. They explain their ambitions early. Why it weakens them. They price their career on best-case outcomes. Management prices it on historical averages. What to do instead? Delay commitment. Ask how often promotions actually occur. Watch who advances and who disappears. Silence beats enthusiasm when probabilities are unclear. What most people do, they negotiate based on optimistic projections. They accept asymmetric risk for hypothetical upside. Why it weakens them. They absorb downside volatility. The other side keeps optionality. What to do instead? Structure deals where loss is capped. Demand compensation for variance, not promises. Probability is leverage when you price it correctly. This is not about emotion. It's about dynamics. What most people do, they stay because it might improve. They invest based on potential. Why it weakens them. They anchor to low probability change. They normalize recurring cost. What to do instead? Observe patterns, not intentions. Withdraw before probability hardens into certainty. Engagement is leverage only when withdrawal is real. Neglect of probability doesn't destroy you quickly. It erodes you quietly. You stay exposed longer than you should. You justify positions that should have been temporary. You confuse hope with leverage. The people who win consistently aren't smarter. They're stricter. They don't argue with probability. They design around it. They don't chase unlikely outcomes. They survive common ones. Control isn't about forecasting the future. It's about making sure no single outcome can break you. If you ignore probability, someone else will price it for you, and you'll pay the difference. If you're still watching, thank you for your attention. Use it carefully.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.